Let's stop wasting Adam Trigger's time. He's like, guys, you're talking about chihuahuas on the Taco Bell commercials. What are you doing here? Adam, good to see you. You know Adam. He is a professional sports handicapper for WagerTalk. Find him on X at Adam Trigger WT. So you're an iced coffee guy, right?
Yeah, I was a no coffee guy for the first 37 years of my life. Like within the last year or so, listen, I had to quit the energy drinks. I was knocking down those Celsius for a while, and then it's just they're not good for you. And I got to be honest, there was one point in time I was probably what do the bangs have, like 300 milligrams of caffeine? I would do like 2 of those in a day because I'm trying to start the day. I'm trying to get up and watch Korean baseball at 5:30 every morning. I'm up watching the Blue Jays blow a game for me last night at 1 o'clock Eastern. I need the caffeine. I had to quit the energy drinks, but I cannot stomach a hot coffee. I just can't do it. So it's got to be iced coffee with I dump this protein shake stuff in it, this Premier Protein coffee flavored shake. I dump in my coffee, so I'm not putting like cream and sugar in. That's been the new go-to. And I've already hammered a couple of those this morning, so you can kind of see ready to go.
Well, yeah, if you're used to drinking energy drinks with like 300 milligrams of caffeine, that's wild to me.
Amazing.
Well,
that should shoot you into space.
Oh, yeah, the Bang Energy ones are the cleaner ones, per my research. Someone's going to have to fact check that. But, yeah, they got a lot of caffeine in them, so.
All right, so shall we pivot to baseball? I guess we could talk about caffeine all day. So you were just talking about the Blue Jays. We were thinking about this Blue Jays game today because you look at the pitching matchup. Chris Bassett's somebody who has won us a lot of money in previous years. Looks like he's kind of back to his old thing. You know, he's looking pretty good. The Angels are bad. I feel like I would lean towards the Blue Jays, but let me not pencil you into that play. That one or free roll if there's a game you want to start with.
So I'll start with a couple. I haven't committed to anything yet, still a little bit early, but there's a couple of interesting spots that are bigger favorites. I'm not a big parlay guy, but theoretically, I'm going to talk about 2 favorites that I think are probably easy wins today. And I think that where they're priced, they should be considered. So the Dodgers, before I got on air, I believe are minus 160. And that to me was a bit off because I think you've got a guy in Yamamoto that is going to end up being a Cy Young contender, one of the elite pitchers in the league. You go back to last year, and I've noticed this with some of the Asian pitchers that come over. Sometimes year one is a little bit of an acclimation process. Even the players, like Jung-Ho Lee last year, kind of struggled, ends up getting hurt. Yamamoto, same thing. He only pitched 90 innings last year, 18 appearances, had a battle through injury, did end up making an appearance or 2 in the playoffs. But you look at him now, he's already thrown 40 innings, so it's basically half of what he threw last year. 0.90 ERA, a whip under 1, 49 strikeouts and 40 innings pitched. Looks like one of the elite pitchers in the game. Here he's going to be up against Brandon Pfaadt, who I have noticed has some issues. Like, you look at his surface numbers, they're not as bad as what the underlying stuff is screaming that he's going to get blown up by some of these better teams. We saw it last weekend by the Phillies, where he had 4 decent starts in the road where he kind of lived on the edge, worked out of trouble. Tough to do that against the Phillies, even tougher to do that against the Dodgers. Baseball Savant's an incredible website when you're looking at pitching. Brandon Pfaadt's pitching run value is poor, 20th percentile. That's not good. His breaking pitches aren't working at all. But it's not like he's not throwing them for strikes. He's just throwing them right over the middle of the plate. They're getting crushed. Stuff you can get away with against teams like the Orioles, teams like the Rays, the Marlins, the teams that he had that good run of starts against. Can't do it against the Phillies. Certainly can't do it against the Dodgers. And then at the back end, this Diamondbacks bullpen has real issues right now with injuries. So I like the Dodgers, and I think this one probably plays over as well.
We're talking with Adam Trigger. He is a professional sports handicapper for WagerTalk. He's been hammering energy drinks. What's that drink called again?
No, that's the thing. I haven't.
You're done.
I don't think I've had I'm done. I haven't had an energy drink in 8 months.
Oh, good for you.
It's just coffee.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
And I believe it or not, I feel way better. So I don't think they were actually helping me the way I thought they were. No energy drinks, iced coffee only with that Premier Protein coffee flavored shaken. It's incredible. You should try it.
Nice. Congrats on your journey. Tough to give up.
I'm not getting paid for that endorsement either. It's just good.
That's got to come home. I wanted to ask you about the Orioles, and there's such a fascinating case because, last year they were such a moneymaker, and now it's been flipped on his head where they are fade candidates almost each and every game if you can get a good price because their starting pitching is so bad they don't hit left-handers. If you can find the Twins cheaper than -150, would you look at the Twins, or are you staying away?
So I don't care for either of these teams like right now. Twins and Orioles have their issues. As far as like today, as far as the Orioles are concerned, the problem for them is starting pitching. They just don't have starting pitching, and it's actually probably undervalued them to this point because they've also just been cold and slumping offensively. Now you can look at that and say, all right, like we're in May, right? How long you're cold and slumping, but if you look at like the baseball season as a whole, April to October, like even some of the better teams are going to have a month where they're collectively not hitting. So I'm not sure I'm ready to write off this Orioles lineup yet. And at the bullpen, at the back end, like Felix Bautista, Yenner Cano, that's as good of a high leverage sort of relief duo as you're going to find. So with the Orioles, it really comes down to can I trust their whatever starter they're going to throw out for the day to get me to like the 6th or 7th inning where I have a chance, because that's been the Orioles' issue. They can't seem to get leads, so they really aren't getting the full value of having a Cano and a Bautista at the end to close games out because they never have a lead. I do think like they've really struggled against left-handed pitching so far this year. If you look at their numbers against lefties last year, they weren't this bad, so I would have to think that gets better. They've actually hit right-handed pitching well. So, you look at this matchup today against Bailey Ober, a right-handed pitcher. I don't know that this would be the spot that I would be trying to fade the Orioles. I think, good lefty. I think Rodon got them a couple weeks ago, maybe like last week where he wiped them out. They have really struggled against left-handed pitching, and they're cold collectively. So going to have to look and see if they can, put a crooked number or two up and maybe try to play them the day after that, because this offense is probably going to get going. But the real challenge with this Orioles team is finding a spot with the starter. And just to answer your question today, I'm not sure Dean Kramer's that guy for me. So I don't know if I'll be involved here either.
Let me ask you about this Philly series, because we saw the opening game of the Phillies and Rays, and Zach Wheeler was pitching, and the Phillies were only -120. We said to ourselves, what are we missing here? This feels like a cheap price. Kind of said that yesterday, and of course they win both those games, and we didn't play them. So today we say to ourselves, have we missed the boat? Can they sweep the series? Because we've just seen this move 5 cents too. Philly's now up to -140, I believe, against the Rays today. Luzardo pitching. Should we be on the Phillies today?
I probably wouldn't be able to talk you off the Phillies today. Reason being, the Rays, they're a scrappy team, but they don't have much pop in this lineup. I feel like offensively, the Rays they have to get on base, steal bases, manufacture runs, get the timely hit, and they've got guys to do that. Like I love the Chandler Simpson call up. Like having someone like that to be able to get on base and mix things up is huge. The problem is you're asking him to do it against a guy like Luzardo, who's not going to give you many free base runners. So that I don't know that you missed the boat on the Phillies. Like this number seems pretty fair. Like I know it's moved a tiny bit, but this is a plus matchup in my opinion for the Phillies. I personally am probably been higher on the Rays than the market, but you also have to remember this is Tampa Bay's team is built around pitching. It has been for a while. Mm-hmm. They didn't think that they weren't going to be in Tropicana Field this year, right? Like that was news to them when they had the storm. This ballpark that they're playing in is definitely more pro offense. And so I don't know that that's like really fully been baked into the number yet. So I this isn't my spot for the Rays. I couldn't fault you for being on the Phillies again today.
Adam, we got a couple minutes here left. At some point, do you just fade the Rockies or the Pirates or the White Sox on the run line if you can get plus money, just kind of on a regular basis? How do you play that?
Listen, I had the Rockies plus 1.5 last night. I'm devastated that it didn't win. So if you didn't see it, they lost in extras. You have plus 1.5. I had it right around even money. They lose 8-6 in extra innings. It certainly feels like the Rockies are an impossible team to bet on. As far as the doubleheader today, I'll give you like a potential angle. The Rockies are going to call up Tanner Gordon to pitch the second game of a doubleheader. I watch a ton of AAA baseball. I feel like I have a good beat on the guys that sort of get called up from AAA and like where I expect them to be, what I would want to do with them. I don't think this guy really belongs on a big league mound at all. Like, this is not, this is really like, okay, we had a game rained out on Thursday. We're 6 in a million is our record right now, right? Like 6 in 29. And to top it off, you're going to have him in game 2 of the doubleheader. The Rockies used quite a bit of bullpen last night because they ended up having to take Chase Dollander out early. So that was a really good game. It was a 6-6 game, went into the 10th inning. I believe Jake Bird came in and kind of, I don't think you'll see him today. I think he pitched 2 or 3 innings. So you might get a spot with the Tigers in the second game of that doubleheader where you could lay any run line, lay 2.5. Right? Like, because if Tanner Gordon's probably getting blown up, and I don't know by that point, especially depending on how the way game 1 goes. Let's say the Rockies are in a close game in game 1, they use more of their high leverage arms. Game 2 might just be like, all right, Gordon, he's probably getting lit up. The next guy would be a back end bullpen guy. So you might have a really good spot you could maybe either play Tigers to Dodgers in a money line parlay or literally just lay a touchdown with the Tigers because I think Gordon might get hammered in that second game.
You know what? You don't have to say much to talk me into fading the Rockies. So when you were like, you're calling this guy from AAA, I was like, yep, that's a good bet right there.
Yeah, it's like 8 big league appearances. ERA's like 8 or 9. I've watched him pitch for Albuquerque. He doesn't even crack he's nowhere on my starting pitching rankings for AAA, which I update every day. So that to me is usually a good sign where a guy might get blown up in the bigs, and I think he could be in trouble today in that second game of the Rockies-Tigers doubleheader.
Absolutely sold. He is a good friend of the program. Also, professional sports handicapper for WagerTalk. It is Adam Trigger. Adam, always great to hear from you, and good luck on your no energy drink journey, man.
I appreciate you guys having me. We'll see you soon.